All right. I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. So welcome to the perfect elevator pitch workshop. Today, I am going to walk you through 3 steps to a clear message that gets people excited to work with you. And I am super glad that you're here with me today. So you're going to learn today, you're going to learn how to create a strong foundation for your business with a clear message. You're going to learn how to experience more ease in your marketing, because when your message is clear, it becomes a lot easier to talk about what you do, which ultimately ends up attracting more clients. And my favorite part of this is that you get incredible results while actually doing less. So once your pitch is created, you can repurpose it so you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel with your marketing. But first, let's introduce ourselves to each other, because Mike and Anna don't know each other. So can you guys just share your name and how do you answer the question, what do you do, when somebody asks you that right now or in the past, few months? How do you answer that question? Anna, do you want to start?
Sure. So my name is Anna. I live in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. Met Kris during her time there. Yeah, I'm here because I have a really clear niche now. I'm a literary agent. I work in book publishing. I have a specialty in spirituality, lifestyle, personal development books, but I really want to make the transition out of book publishing and into Enneagram coaching. And so I really want to hone my pitch around what problem I'm solving, what pain point I'm hitting, and just a succinct way of talking about what Enneagram coaching is and the benefits it brings.
Cool. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, smart too when you're pivoting to kind of take the time to get the words right so you can do it more efficiently and effectively. Cool. That's exciting. I'm a huge fan of the Enneagram. I'm not an expert, but I really believe in that. What would you call it? Like in a tool or?
Yeah, system. Yeah, I mean, I am too. And I think it just, the issue I'm having is that it touches on so many areas of life that I think honing in on one pain point has been really hard for me, because I've seen it benefit my life in so many areas.
Okay. Well,
do you know your number?
I want to say I'm a 7. I want to redo a quiz. You'll have to maybe share a quiz with me and I'll redo it. Okay, Mike, how about you? I know your objectives are a little unique, but they'll totally work for today.
Well, it kind of depends. So yeah, kia ora koutou, tanakwe. My name is Mike Terinsky, and I live in New Zealand. I went to high school and junior high, and I think 1 year grade school with Kris. Westridge. Yeah, I moved over there in 6th grade, and I live in New Zealand, so that was a bit of a Kiwi Maori greeting that we do often here. I've been here now almost 18 years, and yeah, I've got two very adult-looking boys and one wife, one mother who lives with me, and a dog. I do a number of things, mostly working community-based work with young people. I run a nonprofit, but I also am a local politician. So I'm not actually sure which is the best use of this time today, but and I'm also working on starting another nonprofit for mental health for men. So yeah, anyway, I do a fair amount. Yeah, but yeah, I'm heading into an election this year for local politics, and so I thought, oh, this might be a great chance to have a chat to Kris and see if I can improve some of my stuff.
I love the idea of focusing on the politics piece you today. I think since that's coming up, and it's also like I told you this via email, but I just worked with a politician out of California, and it really changed the way she entered into the journey of running. So so yeah, cool. Well, and the beauty is once you know the formula, you can apply it to all the other components of things that you're doing. But mental health for men is so important, and unfortunately just not a lot of attention on that. So very, very cool that you're doing that too.
Yeah, and a lot of the approach is using things that work for women and other people who other kind of identities, and and they're not really focused on how men operate. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, but we're working through it.
Okay, so what is a perfect pitch anyway? All it is a short statement that clearly explains what you do in a compelling way. And it was, elevator pitches have been around a long time, but Donald Miller wrote a book called Building a StoryBrand. And it was all based on, this book is all based on how to use story in your marketing. So if you have the time and you have the interest in delving a little bit deeper into all this, I would highly recommend that book. It's a great read. It's an easy listen on Audible. And he wrote like 7 memoirs prior to getting into business writing. So he's just a great storyteller, and he loves story, and he knows how to use story in a marketing environment. So this is a great book. This pitch approach is inspired by his work. And the question is, why is this type of pitch more powerful than traditional elevator pitches? And the reason is because it actually tells a story. And story is what connected us as humans sitting around the fireside from the beginning of time. We're just wired to engage and listen to story. Our brains remember stories 22 times. Well, they're 22 times more memorable than just facts. And when a story begins with a problem, which all good stories begin with a problem, our brains find them 100% irresistible and can't help but engage and find out like how that problem is going to be solved. And a good example of this is if you think back to maybe pre-COVID, when you went to a movie theater, which I can barely remember now, it's been so long. But, you've got a lot going on in your life and we're busy. And then you go into that theater and it's dark and you get fully engaged in that story. And when it's done well, you literally enter into the story, you're fully engaged. And then at the end of the movie, you realize, well, oh yeah, wait, I've got a family and kids and I live in San Miguel or New Zealand. And so it's a very powerful tool. Okay, so now I'm about to ruin pretty much every movie or book that you're ever going to read for the future, because I'm going to show you the formula for every story. So every story starts with a hero, and that hero has a problem. And then that hero meets a guide who gives them a plan to find success. And it is really that simple. So when you think about like stories that you're familiar with, here are some examples of famous, guide hero relationships. So Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid, and also Woody from Cheers. I can't remember his name in this movie, and Katniss, really classic hero guide relationships. And then of course, Yoda and Luke. And the thing that I want you to remember, if you take nothing else from today, the thing that I want you to remember is that you're the guide and your client is the hero. And this pitch process is really walking through that hero's journey. So step one that we're going to work through is introduce the hero with a problem. Step two is meet a guide with a solution. And step three is show them what success looks like. And every client I work with comes to me, and honest to God, I would say like 95% of the time they say, why is it so hard to talk about my own business? And the reason is because you're just too close to your own expertise. You know the nuances, you know the ins and outs of it. It's in your brain all the time. And it's like trying to read the label from inside the bottle. It's just really, really hard. It can be really frustrating because you have the curse of knowledge. And what that means is that you've forgotten what it's like to not know what you know. And so this process will help simplify things and help people that don't know about your industry or don't know about Enneagram. It's going to help. We're going to create words that are going to help them easily understand what that's about. And this is why workshopping your one-liner is so effective, because you can bounce it off other people who can give you an outside perspective. So before we begin, you guys both have the Google Doc, or even just a Word doc. It doesn't have to be that Google Doc, just anything you can kind of write in and brain dump some ideas. Okay, so we're going to dive into step one, the problem. What are the problems that your clients or Mike, in your case, your audience, the people that you want to vote for you, what are they struggling with? Yeah, just ask yourself that question and then kind of brain dump a few ideas. And I'm going to show you some ideas here. This one is my own one-liner. Many business owners struggle to create a clear message on their website. It's that simple. Or for a retirement planner, many people over 50 worry their money won't last them through retirement. These are all just problems. For the politician I worked with in California, the problems that her audience was having was many Californians have a hard time trusting their political leaders. And so we just named that. And when you name that problem, people automatically think that you're the one that's going to be able to solve it. It's really, really powerful. It just opens up a story loop in our brain and we're like, okay, what's going to happen next? So now you guys try this out. Can you brain dump a few ideas? And I'm going to give you guys just a couple minutes here to brain dump some ideas on a doc, and then let me know when you're at a good point. got about 1 minute to go. And if you need a little bit more time, let me know. Okay, you ready? How you feeling? Because we're only with 2 of us, we can take all the time that we need. You're muted, Mike.
Yep. And while forgive me if I sound distracted, I'm going to be taking my son to school, and I might drop off for a second. But once I hit data,
Okay.
I'll be back on.
Sounds
Sorry,
good.
apologies. But
No
I do have some things to.
Okay, let's start with Anna then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I threw 3 on the top of my head. So
Great.
so I have busy people have trouble being more intentional with their time and energy. 2, people feel like something's missing in their lives. They're going through the motions but don't feel true fulfillment. And 3, people struggle with a sense of inadequacy and lacking self-worth.
What was the second one?
The second one was people feel like something's missing in their lives. Dash, like hyphen, they're going through the motions but don't feel true fulfillment. So maybe people are going through the motions, or people feel like something's missing. I don't know.
Yeah. That's such a good one. Mike, do you have a few you want to share?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure I've went off hot Wi-Fi now and data. Right, one of them was, it's funny that you say that thing about trust politics, because I kind of came up with a similar one, which was many East Aucklanders, because I live in East Auckland, many East Aucklanders don't think their local politicians work for them. Many people don't think council do the basics well. Many people feel voting in local government is a waste of time. A few things that I put out there.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, what was the second one?
It was many people think council do not do the basics well. Yeah.
Okay.
I struggled with that one actually, but
Okay.
yeah, I threw it down there anyway.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, to me, we'll see how this plays out, but I feel like this one's really strong. And Anna, I think that this one right here is super strong. Let's see, truly. So yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, so step 2, how do you solve the problem in step 1? Here are a handful of examples. Mine would be, I help them simplify their message and tell a great story. So it can help to start this phrase with I help, or I offer, or I provide. So think about that. You could also, if you have a proven process, you can start with my proven method or my proven process, and then talk about what it does to solve that problem. And then the politician that I worked with wrote, I'm a community activist on a mission to mend the relationship between citizen and politician. So think about this for a few minutes. And I'll put the timer on. And unless, Anna, did you do your work ahead of time? Or are you doing it here with us? Okay, perfect, great. Okay, we'll give you about 3 minutes just to brain dump things and not overthink them. That's the key. All right, about 1 minute to go. Okay, how you guys feeling? You need a little bit more time? Are you feeling good about this one?
I've got two, and then
Okay.
my third one is in my head, and I can't really write it because I'm driving. But I'd already written two of them, but yeah. Anyway.
What's the third one in your head? I'll write it.
Ah, thanks. Yeah, it's something like I don't know, I'm kind of forgetting it. Kind of around the lines of I work and live in the community, and I understand the issues, something like that. That was kind of where my head was going. Yeah. But
What are the
yeah,
other?
I struggled with this one, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. What are the other two?
I take a practical approach to local council. And then the second one was I work hard to keep council focused on getting the job done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, again, I really found like the problem and the solution on a real local level, you know, was fairly challenging to to sort of quantify.
Yeah. So if the problem is people don't think council does the basics well, or they don't think that politicians are actually working for them, this is the solution to that problem, is getting council focused on getting the job done.
Right.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, Anna, how about you?
Okay, so my first one,
Mhm.
I help you identify your true Enneagram type and deepen into that knowledge in a way that tests can't.
In a way that what can't?
That tests can't,
Okay.
like test or quizzes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
2, I remove the blinders that are causing you to see the world in a limited reactive way.
Mhm.
And 3, I help you attain full integration, or I say integration and fulfillment, by breaking free of limiting personality traits that have held you back.
Oh. Some really good ones in here. Cool. Okay. Let's keep going. These are really good. I help you identify your true Enneagram. I can never spell Enneagram.
ENN, Enneagram.
Okay. Enneagram.
Yeah.
And deepen that knowledge in a way that tests can't. Let me look back on your problem. Okay.
And I sort of made it iterative because the first step is identifying the type, then kind of looking at the limitations, and then like moving to integration.
Got it. Got it. So these kind of
They
These
feel like steps to me.
are kind of like steps. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, step 3, the benefit. And we're going to go back and hash these out so they're really solid by the time we get off this call. What is the benefit that they're going to experience through electing you, Mike, and through working with you, Anna? What are they going to ultimately experience? This one's kind of the fun one. So for me, it would be, this starts mostly usually with so they or so that. So they can attract more leads and amplify profits. So they can spend with confidence, knowing they'll be okay. So trust is restored and power is returned to the people. So again, try starting out with so that or so they, and brain dump a few ideas. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. About 1 minute to go. All right. Cool. Okay, how did that go? Did it feel a little bit easier, or how was it for you guys?
I was having trouble getting I stopped and I was now able to write without driving. But I struggled to get my computer to get going, so I was a bit distracted at first. But yeah, I'm not real happy with the 3 ones I came up with, but
That's okay. It's got it. You got to start somewhere.
yeah,
You can share one or two if you want.
yeah. So first 2 are, yeah. Anyway, it says so they will be represented well, so voters, so they can have their voice heard. So that then third one was so that we can get our community working better.
So, we can get our community working better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think
actually, those
there's
look good.
more work. Yeah. Anyway, come on.
Okay, Anna, how about you?
I had so that they can improve their relationships.
Mhm.
So that they can feel true belonging.
Okay.
So that they can experience less pain and more love.
Ooh. So juicy. Okay. Okay, now this is the fun part. We're going to combine them. So pick your favorite from each group and combine it together. I'll show you a few examples, okay? So, and remember, you guys are already doing a great job of this, but a really good pitch is casual and conversational. It's something that you want to be able to run into somebody on the street and share with them, but it's also going to work well in written word as well. But keep it casual. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples. So for me, many business owners struggle to create a clear message on their website. I help them simplify their message and tell a great story so they can attract more business and amplify profits. And then for retirement planner, many people over 50 worry their money won't last them through retirement. My proven method takes the guesswork out of retirement planning so they can spend with confidence, knowing they're going to be okay. And for Emily Hibbard, she's a politician. Many Californians have a hard time trusting their political leaders. Emily Hibbard is a community activist on a mission to mend the relationship between citizens and politicians, so trust is restored and power is returned to the people. So we'll do this again. I'm going to give you, do you think 3 minutes is enough, or should you want maybe 5 minutes? 5, okay. And just know this part of the process is, I like to call it like the messy middle. It feels messy, it's frustrating, it's like, but it's really essential. And I promise, you'll come out the other side with clarity. So just know that that's normal to be like, what the heck? This is like not jiving together, but it will. So, okay, 5 minutes.
Kris, mine is kind of long. Can I send it in the chat?
Yep. Great. Mike, how are you doing? You need a little time?
I have two examples, two done.
Okay. Can you add it to the chat, or do you want to just say it out loud?
I can. I'll have to. I was just thinking about that. I'll have to switch my Zoom over to my computer and off my phone, which
Oh,
is
no
not
worries.
hard.
You can
It's
just
not
say,
hard to do.
yeah. Okay.
Let's see. So, Jones. Yes, there we go. We're having Rachel. There we go. See if my.
Okay. Oh,
Am I coming through?
you're coming through.
Okay. And I'll just, once that's connected, I'll leave my phone on.
Anna, this is really good. Really, really good. I have a few thoughts. Oh.
Was it okay to start with a question?
I think it's better to not start with a question, but it's an easy shift, and I'll show you. I'll show you. I'm just making a couple little edits to it, and I'll show you how it sounds. I think that when you want to share, it's not bad to start with a question, depending on the environment that you're. Oh, my video is not on. Hi. It's not a bad thing to start with a question, depending on the situation. Like if you're going to repurpose this for your website and you're speaking directly to your audience, that might make sense to start with a question. But if you're at a coffee shop and you're talking to somebody who is just curious about what you do, that might be too personal of a question to ask directly. But I think it's great to talk about in the way that you're sharing it. I think it's really good. So, okay. Thanks, Mike. I just got these. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So let's start with Anna's.
So I did you, and I guess maybe I should I maybe have kept it to like a third person?
No, oftentimes this is done with elevator pitches where it starts with a they and then it switches over to a you.
Okay.
And that's okay. I mean, in typical writing, you kind of want to keep that consistent, but with these elevator pitches, the way I learned them anyway, it's okay to start with the they and then switch over to the you. So let's just say this out loud and see how it feels. I want it to be simple enough that it can roll off your tongue. And the thing to keep in mind with these is you probably will have a long version, you'll have a medium version and a really short version. So this would be your longer version. A lot of people feel like something's missing, like they're going through the motions without a sense of true fulfillment. I'm an Enneagram coach that helps you discover your Enneagram type and deepen into it in a way that tests simply can't. Once you break free of limiting type traits and that you've been holding on to, once you break free of limiting type traits that have been holding you back, you can improve your relationships, tap into true belonging, and experience more meaning and love in your life. Wow, sign me up. That's awesome. That's really good. I think that this will work great for your long version. And then I think we can simplify it for your shorter version. I might do something like I'm an Enneagram group that helps you discover, that helps you deepen into it. You're kind of creating another problem here. And with these elevator pitches, you really want to stick to one problem.
Mhm.
So there is another, the other problem is that the tests are too shallow or don't go deep enough or don't really help you all that much. And that might be a different one-liner that you write. And
Yeah,
you would speak about that up here.
Yeah, it's almost like I offer two services, because there's the initial typing thing, which I think like that gets people in the door, because I don't think the tests are accurate. But then there's like the second part of the work, which is more of like the deepening into your type. So yes, I think it's true. I'm sort of addressing two problems here.
Yeah. And I think when you confuse things too much, like if you went to a Jason Bourne movie and he was trying to find his identity, but he was also really interested in adopting a cat, you know, like if you introduce too many problems, people disengage. The problems are real, and there are ways to address those throughout your website, and maybe on like a different sales page that goes in deeper into that. But I think for today's sake, I think we should stick to one problem and deepen into it in a way, okay, that helps you discover your Enneagram type. And break free of limiting traits that have been holding you back. So you can improve your relationships, tap into, improve your relationships and experience more meaning and love in your life. Okay, let's try this. A lot of people feel like something's missing, like they're going through the motions without a sense of true fulfillment. I'm an Enneagram coach that helps you discover your Enneagram type and break free of limiting traits that have been holding you back, so you can improve your relationships, tap into true belonging, and experience more meaning and love in your life. Super strong.
I wonder if, I'm just thinking if we should shorten it something like, if we're getting it down to its essence, because I have like those three things which work in a long version, but like, obviously I feel like the whole like be the best version of yourself is super cliched, but like something maybe like you can truly feel like yourself, or tap into the best of yourself, maybe.
Tap into the best of
yourself.
Yeah, the benefit section is really strong if you keep it to three things. So if it were three things total, because we've got improve your relationships, feel a sense of belonging, experience more meaning, and experience more love in your life. So I think we'd want to swap that out.
Yeah.
So I think improve your relationships, feels, and you could even, what was the last benefit you just mentioned?
I said, what did I say? Did I say tap into the best of yourself, or is that?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe experience yourself as you truly are.
I think, you know, 3 really kind of solid, strong ones that are punchy. So you can improve your relationships. Everybody wants to do that.
Mhm.
Experience more meaning. Everyone's looking for meaning and purpose.
And maybe become the best version of yourself.
And become, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I love about this too is that it's the true solution to the problem. So they don't have fulfillment, you know, they feel like something's missing. And then the opposite of that is they're experiencing more meaning and improving relationships and becoming the best version of themselves. So it's fantastic. It's really, really good. Okay.
Kris, would you mind sending that back to me so I can plug it into my worksheet?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Just sent it to you.
Great.
Okay. Now, Mike. Okay.
Kris, I want to jump in. Sorry, I have a call at the top of the hour, so I don't know how long this is scheduled to run, but I'm going to have to jump off.
We'll probably, you're free to drop off we're going to planning to end in 3 minutes, but we might take a few more with Mike just to get him to a really good place of clarity. So if you need to hop off, totally fine.
I might jump off now. And then I want to be in touch with you once, like, you know, I would love to work with you on website stuff. So we'll keep the conversation going.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for coming today. Yeah.
Thanks, Kris. Bye, Mike. Thank you so much.
Bye, Anna.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the pacer beat. I'm such a nerd. Okay. Okay, so we've got hers. That's good. And then let's put yours down here. Like that. I like it. I like it.
Run out a few. Yeah. I guess you guys are talking.
Yep.
Local government is really hard because it's not very value-based. It's not, it's actually, it's about parks, sidewalks, roads. Yeah, it's not like gay rights or abortion or like, you know, or COVID. or the economy. It's real local. So it's like you can't get too emotive or you can't get too deep on it because people just go, oh yeah, whatever. It's just local politics, you know.
What do people complain about the most?
They pretty much complain that council is waste money and that they don't do anything. Yeah, that they don't use so they waste money. They don't listen, so they don't seem to address the problems that are kind of real everyday problems. And the council doesn't, when it comes to East Auckland, which is the suburb that I represent, a part of the suburb I represent, is that council basically forgets about our part of the community. That they're not interested in what we want. They're interested in what the rest of the other suburbs want. Yeah. So it's really straightforward. It's like, so my tagline the last since I started in politics was practical, not political. So because they're like, local government, like it doesn't matter what party you're in, it doesn't matter. Like people just want people to get shit done.
Right.
And so it's less about values, and I mean they want people to be community focused. They want people that they can access, and that's another thing is people that they want to feel like that they're listened to, and that the local politicians are accessible and seen, and so that they can talk to them about the issues that, because again it's that whole thing that they don't think council listens to them or don't think council pays attention. And so
Okay. So it sounds like one of the main problems is East Aucklanders don't feel like their voice is heard when it comes to politicians.
Yep, very much so. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what you've got here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so that's not it. You had,
I threw up another one on the chat a little bit ago.
okay. Yeah, this one. Okay.
Many East Aucklanders think they have to fight council to get anything done. I take a practical approach to keep council focused on it's repeating itself.
Yeah, it's
I just
okay.
thought I'd
It's okay. Okay.
so that we
I
can
know
get our community moving.
this phase of the work is perfectly represented by that bottle that you're in trying to read the label. It's like it's really hard to get it simple without an outside perspective.
Yep.
So I really like this one. And then let's see, I think council wastes time and money. Ooh, gosh, these are good, Mike. Many East Aucklanders think council wastes time and money. I work to keep council accountable to do the basics well. Accountable. To do the basics well and get the job done so that let's see what your other we can get our we can enjoy
Yeah, that I was watching that. Yeah, well, I was. It just reminds me of that YouTube video with David Donald Miller, and some of the examples that came through on there. That was like, so that we can finally experience the resource of the sun. It was like this really sort of
a little bit over the top. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, that really hit personal to me here, and you really can't get too over the top or too, you can't do that here. People just go, oh, whatever. Like that one, your other politician friends ones, like those are really good, but I can completely see how that'll work in America or California. But people here would go, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Well, and so it's a culture issue, a culture thing.
Is. Yeah, it's the same, similar in London, I think too, where there's just no tolerance for that aspirational fluff that a lot of people have in in their communications. I worked for many years with Adidas, and we had a base in Portland and a base in Germany, and holy hell, the marketing communication was so dramatically different, and it needed to be. It needed to be. But each group was trying to push their creative on the other culture, and it just was not working. So okay, so what about I feel like this problem is a big one. Like that to me feels like, if you're going to share that with me, I'm in. I want to know how you're going to address this problem. So I really like this. I work to keep council accountable to do the basics well and get the job done so that we can get our community working better.
Hmm.
How does that feel?
It feels good because regardless of your political, particular political persuasion, everybody wants council. Everybody thinks council wastes time and money, and everybody
Totally.
wants council to be accountable, and they just want to get. So it's like it doesn't really. It kind of seems to cross the divide. And it really. A lot of times people say they don't even know what we do, because council's split up into different levels, and and we're the closest to the local.
Mhm.
My role, and they're like, what do you even do? And they have no idea, and sometimes to even explain it is difficult. But what that does is I like it, the problem that everybody kind of gets. This
Mhm.
is what I can do. I can keep them accountable to do the basics well, and that's one thing that got me elected. Was I was like, we just need to do the basics well.
Right.
And at the end of the day, everybody wants our community working better. Everybody. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
seems to be very simple,
Mhm.
and yet sort of, it, in my head, it sort of avoids. It actually helps avoid the question. So, what do you actually do?
Mhm.
Because that is 90% of what we do is what's the word? Is it's too early in the morning. What's the word? Represent. Oh, man, I'm not doing well this morning. We actually don't. 90% of what we do is not making decisions. We are advocating. That's what it is. 90% of what we do is advocating and
Okay.
being the voice of the community
Ooh.
to the decision makers. So, but people don't understand that. People think that the local people, because they're the closest and the easiest to access, that
Mhm.
we're actually the ones that make the decision. Well, actually, most of what we do is just advocate.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
people don't. But to explain that is like, so what do you do then? You just advocate.
Right.
But it's an important role, and we do make a difference. It's about their voice being heard, and that's what that's what my role as a local politician is help making sure their voice is heard, which I think that's what that blurb does fairly well.
What about I do like that. I like the idea of the advocate. And I think getting their voices heard is an important part of this. So I wonder if we fine tune it a little bit. I work to keep council accountable to do the basics well and get the job done so that your voice is heard and our community works better.
It's actually an improvement what you've done there. Yeah.
Or let's play around with this a little bit. I work let's see, I work to
Mhm.
so
Let me just tell this person who's calling me this, that I'll
oh
call him back.
yeah, go for it.
I can call you back in like 10 minutes. Okay, cheers, buddy.
Um Okay. Hold on. Kind of ways to play with it a little bit, but many East Aucklanders think council wastes time and money. I advocate for this community and ensure your voice is heard, so council remains accountable and our community works better. How does that feel?
Really, really good.
Cool. Okay.
You just, yeah,
I think
you
this
just took all the sort of jumbly stuff, which is hard sometimes, and put it, yeah, in a real concise way. That's really good.
What's awesome about this is the clearness and the clarity of the problem. And,
Yep.
and then what you do to solve that problem, and then the benefit that they get from the problem. The benefit they get from you making sure their voice is heard and being an advocate for the community.
Yeah.
So
it's not over promising as well. It's not, I'm not saying I'm going to do something that I can't do,
no,
which is often what politicians do. They promise the sky and then and they can't
Right.
actually fulfill that, and then but they don't really care. But people notice, and they want somebody to just be, yeah, straight up.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Even people in Portland, if they heard this, they'd be all over it. It just feels good.
Right.
It's, it's honest, it's authentic. It's not an over the top promise. It shows how you're different and what you're going to do and how you're going to show up. So I think this could be really strong for you as a campaign theme. And I'm just going to run you through like the different ways now that we're here. So essentially, what you do now with this is you say it out loud to yourself until it feels totally natural. You might end up fine tuning or tweaking some words, memorize it. If you have a team of people, like a campaign of people working for you, have them memorize it. And just like Donald Miller mentioned in the video, like get a wad of $5 bills and ask your team, and when they say it right, give them $5, because the key is just that consistency of message in politics in such a huge way. And you think about like even Trump and Hillary Clinton, Trump's campaign, like everyone knows what Trump wanted to do, right? Whether you love him or hate him, he wanted to make America great again, right? Hillary was the hero of her own story. Hillary was, I'm with her. And it's like, doesn't really tell us anything. So you're this. So anyway.
One thing you can say about Trump is he was a genius marketer. He is.
Exactly. He is a genius marketer. And
he's a dickhead, but he's a genius marketer.
Well, and it's the power of repetition. Everybody felt like they knew what he was going to do.
100%. Yeah.
And so have your team memorize this, print it up on your wall. If you have an office, put it up on the wall and put it on all your marketing materials. So here's a client who put it in his email signature. He put it on the back of his business cards. He put it on his website. He put it on the header of his LinkedIn profile. And so longer and shorter versions of this. But for example, let's just play with a shorter version of this for you. So if you were going to shorten this, like, let's just say, if it needed to be very short, you could just say, you could basically reduce this. So many East Aucklanders think council wastes time and money, and you could just say, I advocate for this community to ensure your voice is heard. Hold on here, let me just,
I mean, yeah, I mean, that would land.
yeah. I advocate for East Aucklanders to ensure your voice is heard. Okay, I advocate for East Aucklanders to ensure your voice is heard so council remains accountable and our community works better. You know, you could shorten it in that way if you needed to. And then, yeah, I think that's a nice way to shorten it. But anyway, there's all kinds of ways. If you wanted to go super short, you could say, I advocate for East Aucklanders to ensure your voice is heard, council remains and our community works better, something like that. So you want to kind of just little bite-sized ones of each of those.
Yep.
And then, yeah, if you need help with other areas or how to use this and all those different areas, let me know. And congrats. Here, I'm gonna, let me chat this to you here so you've got it.
Well, I would like to, I've actually been wanting to call you anyway, just because I do follow you, and yeah, and there's the election issue, plus there's, again, I've got the two other projects, one of which is, you know, I've been CEO of the organization for too long, and I'm working on that's the youth development